Table for two, table for two. Having fun, playing games, just me and you.
Welcome to the Table for Two show. I'm Phil.
I'm Jane. Play ball.
Yes.
Baseball has started.
Got to see some baseball, yes, in empty stadiums, but hey, you know.
Now, I'm not going, as you know in our show, we don't get into politics. I'm not going there at all, because I know a lot of people are like, and I'm like, whatever.
Yep.
But it was nice to see baseball. Mm-hmm. It really was. But it was really strange seeing nobody in the stands.
Yeah.
A little freaky. I don't care how much piped-in noise they make. It's still a little freaky.
I think it's funny that they used live games to make video game tracks for the noise, and now they're doing it the other way around. Using video game tracks to provide live noise.
It's so weird. But we sat on our couch and we had some pizza and we watched a baseball game and we kind of felt normal. Mm-hmm. Anybody else out there feeling a little normal after that? I don't know.
Kinda.
You know,
yeah, it's weird.
Every weekend we play games though, and that makes us feel just great.
Yes.
Yes. Well, it does.
Yep.
It makes us happy. So again, hello everybody. So today we're going to take a look at a game that you've probably heard in the past if you've been watching our show. We write for GTM Magazine as well, Game Trade Magazine. If you don't have a subscription, you should go get one. It's a really good magazine, not just because we write for it.
Yeah.
And sometimes, not a lot lately because I think of the COVID situation, but they'll put like freebies in the magazine. So sometimes the magazine comes in like a plastic, and then inside you'll find a bonus card or something of this nature. Well, as you know, every time we get those bonuses, I always look into the game, and I try to see if it's something we could play, and this happened to be one of those. And again, this is one that we bought, and it was in the closet for a while, because we never got to it. So some of you might know this game already, but it was new to us. This is, well, first of all, here's the box. It's very tiny, so it's not a big game show. It's going to be hard to show on camera. That's why we did not play this one at all. Because we were talking about last week how we're going to start maybe trying once a month to play a game on camera. We were going to do it this weekend, but this is you'll see in a minute why this game would be very hard to show on camera. But the game is called, a little card game called Gloom of Thrones. Now, unbeknownst to us, because we are not the game connoisseurs of the world, we feel like we know a lot about games, but we're not like some people out there, who know everything about every single game. Apparently, there is a game called Gloom. Yeah. That's just Gloom, and it's got some expansions and whatnot. But the card I got in the magazine was for Gloom of Thrones, so I bought that game, Gloom of Thrones, not knowing there's a Gloom. Now, it turns out this can also be an expansion to the regular Gloom. So if you have the regular Gloom, which we don't have, we may get yet, you can actually use this as an expansion to that.
It is compatible, yes.
But it is very much a take on, or a parody of the show, as you all know, Game of Thrones.
Game of Thrones,
We have watched the entire series of Game of Thrones while it was, in release. We didn't watch it all at one time. We watched it as it happened. Yeah. And we enjoyed it a lot. Sometimes it was a little bit like cover my eyes. I'm too young for this, even though I'm not. But at the same time, we did enjoy it, although the ending was a little strange. But we won't go there because if you've even watched it, I'm not saying anything.
Yep.
So anyway, Gloom of Thrones is based on Game of Thrones, and it's kind of interesting because it's very easy to set up. There are, by the way, 2 to 4 players, so only 4 players, and they do mention 14 and up. Do you want to explain a little bit why 14 and up?
Yeah, well, so, I mean, there is a parody aspect to the game, and, it pokes fun at some of the things that actually happen.
Like incest.
Yes.
Not in a gross way, not like so sexual or something like that. It's just that it does say things like that. If you have a little kid playing, Mommy, what's incense? You may want to be cautious of that.
And there's a reference to a wedding and things go a little awry and stuff like that.
Yeah, so definitely just be cautious if you're playing with little kids. I don't think you play this game with little kids. Hence why this show is not for children.
Right.
This is another note to the YouTube world. Talking about not for children, we'll talk about the game in a second. We need some wine.
Yes.
So Philip and I, we had our 15th anniversary recently.
15th, yeah.
I'm not telling you how old we are. You probably figured that out by now.
Well, it's probably 15 years older than.
And normally we take a vacation for our anniversary, and we try to have a beautiful vacation, and we just chose against that this year, and that's our own prerogative. Everybody's got their thoughts. If they want to go on vacation, hey, we don't judge you. We're just too scared. We don't want to get sick. We have too many things we need to do, make money, etc. But we are very close to Wisconsin. For those of you who are in Chicagoland, that's very close to where, Chicago is. And sometimes once in a while we'll drive up to Wisconsin. It's only like a couple hours from us, not even. And we actually drove just to go to a store.
One store.
So if you're in Wisconsin, or if you know people from Wisconsin, and not Milwaukee necessarily, but a little bit south of Milwaukee, there's this. As you know, Wisconsin's known for cheese, and there's a store called
The Mars Cheese Castle. It's a castle.
It's a little castle. it's like it's a store shaped in the shape of a castle. It's called Mars Cheese Castle. If you know it, then you know what we're talking about. But we went up there. We bought a whole shenanigans of cheese. We bought a ton.
You have to buy cheese.
We bought a ton of cheese, and they have some really unique wines up there. So you know what we did. We bought a bunch of wine. But I thought this was adorable. Look, it looks like one of those little Italian. You can hang it from the ceiling if you want. Yeah, I'm not gonna hang it from the ceiling, but you ever go to a real authentic Italian restaurant or fake authentic, I guess, and they have these hanging around. So I've never bought a little bottle of wine in a little weaved basket type thing. But this is actually the Mars Cheese Castle brand. So we're like, oh, I didn't know they had a brand. Did you?
They do now.
They have their own wine. It's a Chianti. So we thought, why the hell not? So we bought it.
Yep.
And I got an aerator in there that my friend Paige.
Yes.
Drank some already. Paige gave me this wine aerator a long time ago, and I use it every once in a while. And this bottle worked perfectly. So I'm going to go ahead and pour out the Chianti from Mars Cheese Castle wine. Ooh, listen to that aerate going on.
I hear it.
Nice color. I just like a little basket, regardless of how it tastes. I've just never bought wine in have you ever bought wine in a basket? Let us know below. That's really important for me to know.
Or have you ever bought wine at a castle?
From Mars. But I will tell you, if you ever get to Wisconsin for any reason, unless you're from there, of course, you know they've got some damn good cheese in that place. We get these cheese curds. We eat them all the way home. It's really good. How's it smell? Good?
Oh, really nice.
It does smell nice. Yeah, it does. Yeah.
I'm impressed.
Damn, Mars Cheese Castle.
I am impressed. That is really good.
I will vote for this. And
now I wish we had some of that cheese.
We ate all the cheese.
Good. Yep.
Oh, no. We have one in the fridge still.
Yeah.
It's actually a blueberry cheese. Damn, we should have got it out for the show afterwards.
Next time.
Blueberry cheese. I've never had blueberry cheese, but we'll give it a shot. Anyway, back to Gloom of Thrones. So it is a card game. What is the goal of you to win the game?
So, every week we're like, you have to have the most victory points. You have the most. This game, you want to have the lowest number of points. Literally points. Negative numbers.
Yeah, the goal is for you to be, your self-worth to be the worst. I guess that's why it's called Gloom.
Yeah. You want to have the lowest self-worth. You want to be miserable.
You want to be miserable.
And then die.
And you die first, then you see how much misery you had. It's terrible. Oh my gosh. So it's got a really odd theme. Oh, by the way, I should have mentioned, by Atlas Games. So, hi Atlas Games, if you're watching. I doubt you are, but if you are. What's interesting is, so with 4 players, there's 4 sets of family cards that you can play. So you would have played what would have been the Lannisters.
Yes.
Instead of Cersei, you played Seriously.
Seriously, starting with a C.
Her name was Seriously, and then the little family of Lannisters. I played the Dragon Mother. Actually, they called her the Dragon Mom, which was kind of cool. And they called her Kelly C. So
with the whole story about how many weird different names she had.
Oh yeah, the 500 names. So there's a lot of flavor text on these cards. They're fun to read while you're playing. Like usually, I'm not gonna lie to you. When I play games with flavor text, I tend to ignore the flavor text, and I just like to play the game. But with this one, it was kind of fun because we knew Game of Thrones. It was kind of fun to read the flavor text about like the incest or whatever it was, and we were like, oh my god, it was kind of funny. So each player gets a family to play. You get 5 family members and 5 cards for those family members. Now, by the way, reminder, picture playthrough below.
Yeah.
This is one of the weirdest picture playthroughs we've ever done. Again, we didn't put it on the show to play it because you'll see. The cards are, it's hard to say here, I have a napkin. They're see-through. You probably can't even see that, but they're see-through. I can see, well, I can't barely see, but you can see through them. And the reason why, and this is what attracted me to the idea of the game. It doesn't play like Mystic Vale, but it's like one of those games where you put cards on top of each other to make things happen and whatnot. So I like that part of it.
Yeah.
So when we try to play the game and take the pictures on our regular brownish color table, it was kind of odd. It just the pictures weren't coming out right. So we grabbed a white plastic tablecloth. You'll see in the picture playthrough, so at least you can see the darn cards. So apologies for that, but you can see them with the white tablecloth. Doesn't look very nice. To be fair, it's plastic and whatever. So anyway, so each player gets 5 family members. You place them kind of in front of you, and each of them start off with like just a not negative, but a neutral self-worth.
They're basically just 0
or not low. But the goal is to have the 5 family members dead, first of all. You want all your members, or you want somebody's members dead. We'll explain that. And then whoever has the lowest self-worth wins. But how do you, get the lowest self-worth? Well, there's a lot of cards, and you shuffle them up. I gotta say, that's the only thing I don't like about this game. And it's not even a bad thing. It's just that they're very slippery cards, right? So when you're shuffling, you did a pretty good job shuffling.
It wasn't as bad as I thought it would be. But
if you make one wrong move, they're going to go flying.
They will slide right off each other.
Because they're very slippery. Yeah. But there's a deck of cards besides the family members. I shuffle those up. And you have, on your turn, you have 2 actions you can take.
Yeah.
Okay. The first action, well, they're always a card. But, well, they're always a card. You don't have to take an action. You could say pass,
right,
to be fair. But you can do 2 actions. There's what they call modifier cards. Okay, and you probably cannot see these, so I'm just going to show a little bit, but you're not going to be able to see it. There's, they have like little negative, this one says negative 25, for example. So, obviously you want to lower your people, so I could put that on top of my Dragon Mom card, and it shows through, so now it shows she's got a self-worth of negative 25 at that point. And that's good. I mean, I want to keep her as low as possible. And you can even add other cards on top of that one to make, you'll see it, actually there'll be little circles all around it. And you're just trying to make the lowest self-worth. But they also have some flavor text, but they also have maybe like on this one it says when you play this one, discard 3 cards out of your hand. So if you want to get rid of some cards that you don't like and you want to, by the way, start with a hand of 5 cards. I should have mentioned that.
Yes, you did.
I did.
Oh, start with a hand of 5 cards.
A hand of 5 cards. You get your 5 family members, and then you get a hand of 5 cards to start. And then you draw up to 5 each time, unless text tells you only draw.
Yeah, sometimes you'll have.
It's
so
like Flux.
It does remind me a little bit of Flux, where the rules get modified. So that's usually how it works. But you might have a modifier down that limits you by a card, or allows you an extra card.
Exactly. So you got to monitor your cards and say, okay, what special ongoing features do I have that can do that? So the idea is you want to put it in negative. Now, if you have a modifier that has like a plus 10, there's the cool part. You can play them on the other people's families.
You can make them happier.
You want to make them happy and you sad. So the goal is to get them happy and you sad, or do whatever you have to do. But sometimes they have flavor text on them, or not flavor text, but event text that draw 1 card for each. In this case, crown icon you have. Now there are something called story icons.
Yeah.
Some of the cards have little icons, like this one has a crown, some of them have a skull, some of them bat wings, whatever, or dragon wings, I should say, bat wings. And sometimes based on what icons you have showing on your cards, another card might say, if you have any of these, then you could do this.
Yeah.
So it's kind of like Mystic Veil that way.
It's a little bit. So, and and then the way the cards work is, I've noticed there are like 3 positions where things can show up on one side and 3 on the other. And usually those like flavor things will show up on one side and the points will be on the left. So sometimes you think, well, maybe I will play the plus 10 on myself because I have another card that's going to...
the story things, not flavors.
Well, it could be... That's right.
Story
So
icons.
I might... This gives me an advantage of drawing an extra card, so maybe I'll play the plus 10 on myself because I have a minus 15 I'll play next on top of it and block it. So whatever's showing on top is what counts. The stuff that's buried underneath that you can't see anymore doesn't count anymore.
That's a good point. If it's buried and you can't see it, it doesn't count. And by the way, they stack on top of each other, so you can have multiples on there, to be fair. There's also one extra card called the Porcelain Throne.
Sorry.
It's a toilet bowl, just to be fair. But anytime somebody plays a card with the story icon with the crown, whoever it's played on, whether it's the opponent or yourself, you automatically grab the porcelain throne and you put it on that character. But what it does, what's cool about this character, the throne, is it gives you negative 30 self-worth added to that particular person. But again, it can be moved around based on who has the crown next.
Right.
And so we don't know where it's going to land. And it also gives you a special ability, which we'll talk about in just a minute.
Yeah.
Now, the point of the game is to, again, have the negative self-worth, but you cannot end the game until one of the families, it doesn't matter how many, 4 people or 2 people, one of the families has to be completely dead.
Yeah.
And then the game ends, we'll explain dead in a minute, and then once the game ends, it's over, and then you see how many negative points everybody has, self-worth-wise. But so there's these cards called Untimely Death.
Yep.
You can only play an Untimely Death card on a family member who has a negative self-worth.
Yeah.
So let's say I have, at one point I had like 35 negative self-worth on one of my cards. So I killed myself. I'm like, that's a good place to leave him at negative whatever it was, and it was good to have that at a negative value. And then once he is dead, for a better word, you can never play anything else on that card.
Right.
And then eventually all 5 of your cards or somebody's cards are going to be all dead, and that's when the game ends.
Yep.
But we had a situation in our game, which I thought was really great, where Philip had like negative, I don't know, some really big negative number on one of his cards.
Yeah.
And I pulled a Untimely Death card that literally had circles on each area with blanks to cover up whatever's there.
Yeah.
So I killed him off, and I made he was just nothing. He had no points for that guy.
I think I had a card that was going to be like -30 or -45, and
I was like,
she
no, you're
negated
not.
it.
No, you're not.
Yeah.
And I got rid of that, and I got an accident all of a sudden. No, you're not. You're not going to get that point. And I put it right. I was like, bam! And I was so happy for myself. And I did win that game, by the way. But
Yes, you did.
I didn't play much though, like 30 points more than you. Which is
You won pretty handily.
30 negative points more than you. But you can only play an Untimely Death card on your first action. So if you have 2 actions to play, and you want to do Untimely Death, you must play it on your first action.
Yes.
Not on your second.
Except
Unless
you have the porcelain throne.
and that allows you to play it on your second if you have that throne for whatever reason.
Right.
So that's kind of cool too. Now there's only one other type of card. It's called an event card. And the events can be different types of events. They could be immediate. It's going to happen right now. As soon as you play it, it does whatever it does. There's the continuous. So for example, draw 1 more card each time that you play. Unless you lose that card and then you don't do that anymore. And then there's also response cards. So let's say somebody plays, or somebody gets a throne. There's a card that says if somebody gets a throne, you can take it away. Things like that. So you got to pay attention to what cards are in your hand. You always draw up to 5 unless otherwise told. And then you just keep playing until, again, one of the families are all dead. And even though one family's dead, that doesn't mean you're going to win or they're going to win. You have to count those points.
Right.
Or negative points. And see what you got. I loved it. I was mad in one of those situations. Damn, we should have played this sooner. I liked it.
I know. Sometimes you get games in packages like this, and you think like, it might be a good filler game or something. This was a good game.
It was a good game.
There's a lot of strategy to it, and like you said, you might get a card. So I had an event card that let me switch cards with her, but then she threw another card on top that basically made it that was pointless doing it that way. So it was good.
And
it was
it's a little bit of luck of the draw
game.
too.
Yeah.
What you have in your hand, and you can take cards away from you. I mean, it's fun. I'm telling you right now, this is fun. Now, if you've played Gloom before, you're like, yeah, we know.
Yeah.
It's a fun game. But I definitely would like to maybe buy the original. I looked on Amazon. They have the original for like $18. It's not too much money.
Yeah.
But then if you get the expansion pack, there's like 4 expansion packs. It's like $54. I'm like, maybe I'll hold off on that right now because we have 1,000 games we haven't played yet.
I know.
I mean, I don't know if anybody. I'm not trying to put any sadness in the show here, but it's like sometimes I look in my closet and I go, "Do you think we'll ever play that game before we're dead again?" No, I'm not talking about COVID dead. I'm talking about just in general. There's only so many years in a life, so we keep thinking we typically every year in February timeframe or so. January timeframe, we go to a convention in Champaign called the Winter War, and it's cold, but it's Winter War. But we don't know what's going to happen this year. Who knows?
Yep.
Every day you don't know day to day. But we usually wind up auctioning a whole bunch of our games because we look through and we go, do we think we'll ever play this again? You got to be realistic with yourself. Why am I holding on to these games we're never going to play, even though we like them? There are some go-tos you keep going to, like Carcassonne. Whatever. We were still addicted to Carcassonne. But this one's a keeper. I would definitely keep Gloom of Thrones. Again, if you go anywhere, if you decide to go anywhere, it's portable. If we ever get to go on a real vacation again, I might take this one with us and put it in a suitcase. But anyway, again, take a look at it. It's not that expensive, or you can try to win it next month. It'll be on our things to win.
Sure.
And again, I recommend GTM Magazine, and we do not. I want to make sure I explain something. We are not sponsored by GTM Magazine.
Yeah.
We write for them once a month, and they're very nice to us, and they give us games, and it's all good. But we are not sponsored by them, so we're not meant to say that. But I like personally getting that free card in a magazine sometimes, and it makes you find a game you didn't even know about.
Yep.
So I don't know. I think it's worth it. But or you can read it online or read our articles online. Anyway, take a look at the picture playthrough below. Let us know what you think. If you've played the regular Gloom before, I'm curious about that.
Yeah.
Tell all your friends if you want more people to watch our show. We are almost at $100.
Almost.
What are you talking about, Jane? When we get that YouTube check for $100, we're going to show it on air. We're going to be like, look, we finally, after 7 years, we got $100 from YouTube.
They don't change. I swear, if they change the rules when we're at like $99.95, I'm just going to tear the thing up when it comes.
This is not a complaint on YouTube. I'm trying to be nice. I'm just going to say, originally when we first started doing this, we weren't anything about money, to be honest with you. But everything was monetized originally. No matter what you did, it was monetized. And we got to $80 after 6 years. And we're like, ooh, we're going to get $80.
Yep.
But they don't pay you until you hit 100. Okay? At least I'm telling you the real deal. You don't get much money, believe me, on these ads.
Yep.
But when they then said, okay, no, you have to have at least 1,000 viewers, which we do have 1,000 subscribers. Actually, we have 1,700 now. Thank you very much. We
Yes,
think that's
thank you.
great. Some people think that's little, but we think it's great. And then you have to have 4,000 hours a year of people
Yeah.
watching your show. We just made it this year because I guess we're putting more content out. So we're now up to like $97 after
Yeah.
7 years. So when we get that $100 check, it'll pay for all those games we've been giving away. We don't need the money. We're just kidding. But
It's like one game if it's a really
I think
good
it'd
game.
be- I think it'd be cool to keep doing this until we get our $100 and then
Yeah.
say, okay, we're done. No, just kidding. We'll probably keep doing it until we don't have to do it or
Yeah.
don't want to do it anymore. And I have to. We like to do
Yeah.
it. Like I said, we're not looking for the money, that's for sure. So anyway, Gloom of Thrones, take a look. I think I'm talking too much on this one. Maybe the wine. But
The wine is really good.
hopefully
I'm
we'll see.
impressed.
Hopefully we see you next week. We'll say hopefully because you never know. But with another new game or old game or something to take a look at.
Yep.
See you guys later.
Bye.
Stay well.